Hey guys, stupid idea to head over to the studio today. I didn't sleep like maybe 1 or 2 hours. I was so inspired, started a new song, worked on it the entire night at home with headphones. And I thought like, hey, it will be alright, just head over to the studio, you'll wake up. But I just didn't, very tired. Doesn't make any sense to work on anything substantial. I would just ruin my songs. I overdid it again, as always. So we'll just stick it to a simple Q&A. That's all I can offer you today. Sorry, but it'll be fun. I'll pick some good questions and you'll maybe learn something or get some new insights into certain topics. Let's see.
We're lost in the ashes.
Parallel processing and mastering, yes or no? How, when, what, who? Parallel processing and mastering. It's not necessary. It's just like a different flavor profile, kind of. I think it really works well on drums, parallel processing them a little. I actually parallel process almost everything. I always have it on a bus. I always mix wet and dry. And especially for distortion, saturation, I love to overdo it so I can actually really hear what it's doing and then dial it back down again with the mix knob. Would you ever consider getting a dog or a cat? What about a studio cat? A studio cat, I don't know if cats like loud music 24/7, so probably no. How long did it take you for you to finally be satisfied with your music? I'm never satisfied with my music, never ever. Like, there is no end to it. You get better and then you figure out new stuff that you're bad at. Improve, improve, improve. There is no end, really no end. Best gear you have? I'd still go with the Mac M1. It's a beast, it's fast, it's small, it's inexpensive, battery holds the entire day. Take everything else away from me, just the Mac. I'm still a happy person that can make music. Analog gear or digital plugins, which one is favorite? I'd say it doesn't matter. They do basically the same things. They sound very similar. Maybe analog has a certain flavor to it that some people like. The rest is really just like voodoo and people hearsay talking stuff. I don't know. I have some outboard stuff, but only stuff that isn't available as a plugin that I think makes sense. And for me, it's more about the workflow and being able to touch it, not look at the screen and set things up. Do you recommend Fiverr as a freelance music producer? If you want to make money, Fiverr, I don't know, try it out, give it a try. I mean, it doesn't cost anything, just offer it, see how it goes and work your way up. I mean, I did basically the same, just without Fiverr, just goes producing for other people for 2-3 years just to make a living and then just from there evolved. What about your live set? Did you already start or test anything? Yeah, I actually, like, today I just started a little because I was so tired, so like full production didn't make any sense. I'm still in Logic for the live stuff. I didn't download Ableton because Logic also now has this loop view, what is it called? Like, I can now hit play, have the drums over here, mute them, just like the snare, kick and snare. An ARP. Mute the drums again. Very basic, just trying out some stuff, just seeing if it technically is even possible. And Logic, as of now, has the advantage that I have already all of my sets and all of my songs in Logic. So I can save them, the sounds as a preset, load it up. But I don't know if like Logic is really made for live playing and stable, but we'll see. That's a long process, very long process. I think it will take like at least half a year to a year to have a live setup that is doable. And then I also need to train to work everything out live. Like it's not easy as a one person kind of band to make electronic music live, but we'll see. Maybe it's nothing for me. In half a year, I'll be like, it's boring, I don't like it. I don't know. I just feel like I need to try it out and see what happens. Do you consider digital hardware synths as a VST in a box? If I can, I try to avoid it. But for example, the Jupiter 8 is so expensive, so I'm thinking about maybe a Jupiter X. I don't know. We'll see. Your first label song. My very first song was called... It was a remix actually on Tiesto's sub-label In Trance We Trust. And then my first actual release was on a friend's label that is living here close by and was called Toulouse, which I think even made it into the style Beatport charts, spot number 95. But hey, for a first song, not bad. What should you do if a label doesn't even listen to your songs? I mean, that's very, very common. There is not much you can do if they don't listen to it. Usually they're so busy getting demos, or some labels just don't release any songs that they receive as a demo. They get so many so bad songs and have so many friends and artists that they're already busy 24/7 just releasing the stuff of people they actually know. Why they still keep up the demo submission thing is very simple. They just want your email, your contact to sell you more stuff. No, there's not anything you can do except for trying to get to know them in person, find out who's the A&R, who's responsible at that label, who's working there. Try to find someone you know that knows someone maybe. That's your only option. Is it better to start releasing an EP, an album, or a single? I'd say nowadays 100% a single. Way more control, you can focus on promoting it. It's better to release one really good song than 10 mediocre songs, and just save up the other songs to constantly be present. Algorithm, Spotify favors people constantly releasing. So yeah, albums, EPs maybe for underground music to have like a B-side or an instrumental, a cappella, some remixes. Album, just for big A-list artists, otherwise it doesn't make any sense. Maybe also for like very artsy kind of music, you know, some ambient stuff where it makes sense, where you have like a small fan base that is interested in listening to an hour of your music. But for most people, singles. What analog gear should I buy first? This highly depends on what you think you need and your style of music, but I would go with like a synthesizer, a simple synthesizer. I don't know, something with like 2 oscillators, maybe something polyphonic so it can do a bunch of stuff. I think that's your first choice, at least if you're making electronic music. If you're a mastering engineer or a mixing guy, then probably a compressor or maybe an EQ compressor combined. What are the types of synthesizers? So there's a bunch of stuff. Additive synthesizers, which aren't used that much. Subtractive, which is like the most used kind of type. Then FM synthesizers. You got wavetable synthesizers. You got synthesizers with like granular synthesis and wavetable, granular, FM. Probably forgot 1 or 2, but those are like the most common ones. You can get different sounds with each of them. I think a subtractive synthesizer is a must, VST or in real life. And FM is also kind of handy to have. The rest depends on the style of music. I think Serum is probably your best option because it can do basically almost everything. What should your press kit look like when approaching venues, clubs, managers? I think a press kit nowadays isn't that important anymore because they just look on your Instagram. The more followers you have, the more likely it is that they will book you. They will probably listen to your music productions, check your Spotify, check your SoundCloud for mixtapes of your DJ. And the press kit, yeah, maybe like 1 to 3 photos of you, good, high quality, and something that isn't cringy and kind of looks cool and fits the style of your music. How's the M1 MacBook holding up? Perfect. The best Apple has ever made, period. Can't wait for like the next generation that is even faster, more compact, longer battery life. Amazing. They killed it, really killed it. Can I release my song on SoundCloud and then release it again with a label? Yes, of course. I mean, that's not a problem. The label might be, they might not really like it, that it was already out there. But again, if the song is a hit and they know they will make money with it, for sure they will sign it, no matter what you did with it previously. Is Spotify dead? No, I don't think so. Like, Spotify is still the most important market for music. It's where you make the money, where you make the plays. It's where people get noticed. Maybe TikTok as well. Like those two are right now the hottest shit in the music industry and what all people focus on. Do you celebrate Passover? Yes, we're right in the middle of it. What is the toughest part in producing of a song? It really depends. Like finishing it, obviously, putting everything together, be satisfied with it, not think too much about it, not too little about it, like fixing all of the details. Yeah, really the last percent takes up half of the time that I spend on a song. And also like the initial idea is usually the most critical point, at least. If the idea is shit, don't even think about finishing it. If the idea is good, so make a lot of ideas, pick the best and finish it. Don't just start a song, force yourself to finish it. Make 10, like just the first 2-3 hours, pick the best and finish that one. Gets you way better results, saves you a lot of time. Oh God, yeah. After the studio upgrade, what will be your major project in 2021? Yeah, I think that live setup thing. That's like, you might have noticed, I always make music, and some people are worried and tell me, John, you need to make more music. You get distracted with everything else and blah, blah, blah. No, never. Like, music is my main focus. I do it 6 to 8 hours per day, no matter what. But then there are a lot of more hours that I have available because I just like to work 24/7. I get bored very easily and very nervous if I don't have something to do. So like upgrading the studio was perfect to get over this Corona time phase thing. It's now almost complete, just maybe 2-3 more days of work. Ceiling, front wall, should be all easy. The planning is already done, just waiting for material and the new speakers. And then the live set. Like I want to have something where the music sounds like the music that I make and I can jam to it to 20%. 80% is like pre-planned and like recreating one of my songs. And then I need to make it interesting. I need to have tons of good songs, vocals, yeah, it will be a lot of work and a lot of back and forth because there are a lot of things you can control. You could just live jam and just do the arrangement. You could play in the melodies, but let's say you play in a bass melody and for 3 minutes it's just like a sustained bass with 4 notes. It's kind of pointless to play that and one hand is gone. Like that's what I already learned. Like when playing live music, you only have like 2 hands, 10 fingers. You have to plan accordingly. So for example, the bass line could be fed to the synth with MIDI. So I have that hand available to maybe change the cutoff or pitch it up and pitch it down. Use the other hand to control the drums, mute them, unmute them. Like these kind of things you have to think about. You have like very limited resources, hands and fingers. And also your computer, you can't have like all of the reverbs in there. You can't have like a real master chain, an L2 with oversampling, like these kind of things. Just a sec. Yeah? Anyways, guys, that's it. Some good news. Andy the gear guy has more toys for me. Probably in the coming next days. It's exciting. Anyways, tune in. Thanks a lot for all of your questions. If you have more questions, ask me on Instagram. I'll answer. And now I have one question for you guys, because speaking of the live set, I'm trying to figure out a way to perform live without a computer. But I need something that can trigger audio and trigger MIDI. I know there are sequencers that can trigger MIDI, but very boring MIDI, just ARPs and stuff like that. I need something more sophisticated that can fire up audio and MIDI. Like basically Ableton, the session, that's what it's called, the session view thing. The clip view, that's what I need, just that. I was thinking maybe an iPad, which is again a computer, but a little more reliable. And I don't like to have the computer, like also DJing with the computer always looks silly, like you're checking emails. I don't want that. I don't want to have anything between me and the crowd. It's just me performing, looking at everyone, smiling a little, having fun, dancing. That's the kind of stuff I love. So if you have any suggestion, let me know. We'll see us tomorrow back again in the studio.
Dark, still dark outside, but I'm